I'm sick of the lies. The lies. The lies the mainstream sports media tells you Bron fanboys to make you think LeBron James is the GOAT. He not the GOAT, dog. He not the GOAT. All right? And today, we're going to talk about bags, dog. We're going to talk about bags. We're going to talk about LeBron James. You know, he says there's a narrative out there. He said it on the Mind the Game podcast. There's this narrative about a bag, and it bothers the out of me. It bothers me. You know, it's not about bags. Bags don't matter. It's a 5-on-5. It's not 1-on-1. It's 5-on-5. It's not about individual matchups too much and blah, 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 blah. Yeah, whatever, dog. That's cap. That's a lie. That's a lie. Bags rule this game, dog. Bags rule the NBA, dog. All the great players, dog. All the all-time greats, especially the ones who won multiple championships, they all had a bag, dog. LeBron James, he's insecure about his bag. That's why he looking at other people's bags and being like, it ain't about the bag, it's 5-on-5. You just saying that because your bag is limited, dog. You don't have a bag like these other guys. So you got to say, oh no, it's 5-on-5. But the fact remains, dog, you don't really have a bag. Like, he has a bag. You know, people say LeBron doesn't have a bag. They say he has no bag, like zero bag. And that's not true, dog. Like, he has a bag, you know. He does have a bag, but his bag isn't he doesn't have multiple bags. He doesn't have a very deep bag, but he has a bag. Everybody has a bag, dog. Every NBA player. This is the professional level, dog. Every player in the NBA has a bag, dog. At least one. You see what I'm saying? So, having bags, dog, that's... Every player has a bag. Even LeBron James, dog. But let's look at all-time greats, dog. Larry Bird. You know he had a bag. He wasn't even super athletic or anything like that. Because bags aren't about athleticism, dog. Let me get this straight, dog. Bags aren't about how athletic you are. Bags aren't about how quick you are, dog. Just think about a bag as a bag. And when I say that, this is what I mean, dog. All right. Let's say you literally have a bag. You literally have a bag. Like a literal bag. Not a basketball bag, like an actual bag. You're holding a bag in your hand, dog. All right? How fast you move while you're holding that bag, that's up to the person how fast they are while they're holding the bag, dog. So athleticism has nothing to do with the bag. How high you jump while you're holding the bag, that's how high you jump while you're holding the bag. That has nothing to do with your bag, dog. You know, that has to do with you, the person who has the bag in their possession, what they're able to do. So athleticism, that's not a part of the bag, dog. That's not a part of the bag. Height, physical, that's not a part of the bag, dog. Your physicality, that's not a part of the bag, dog. You know? Like all of these physical traits are not a part of the bag, dog. Doesn't matter how fast you are. You can still have a bag, and a deep bag at that, dog. Doesn't matter how strong you are. You can still have a bag. Doesn't matter how tall you are. You can still have a bag. You see what I'm saying? There's short people who have bags. There's short, slow people with bags. You know what I'm saying? There's tall, fast people with bags or without bags. You see what I'm saying? So all your physical traits, they have nothing to do with the bag, dog. So speed, you can't say, oh, speed is in their bag. No, that's a physical trait. All right? That has nothing to do with the bag. Okay? So, think of a bag as a literal bag. Just for a second with me, dog. Now let's talk about, Tim Duncan. Tim Duncan has a bag, dog. He had a bag. All right? What people confuse when they talk about bags, they think that has purely only to do with the handles, dog. Only to do with the handles, dog. Do you have handles? Do you have handles, dog? And if you don't have handles, you don't have a bag. And that's false, That's false. Because if you think in the sense of a literal bag, there are bags that don't have handles. There are bags that don't have handles, dog. You don't need to carry a bag with your hands all the time. There's plenty of ways to have a bag that doesn't have a handle on it, dog. You see what I'm saying? So just because you don't have handles doesn't mean you don't have a bag. You see what I'm saying? So it's not just relegated to handles only, dog. It's not. You know what I'm saying? We can talk about, shooting, dog. Shooting is a part of the bag, dog. That's a part of the bag, being able to shoot. All right? Being able to shoot is a part of the bag, right? If you have shooting, that's in your bag. That's something you can pull out of your bag whenever you need it, right? Let me get something straight with these bags, dog. Just because you have a bag, just because you have a deep bag, doesn't mean you're going to be a great player, dog. It doesn't mean that. It doesn't mean you're going to lead a team to victory. It doesn't mean you're going to win championships. It doesn't mean you're going to get multiple MVPs. It doesn't mean you're going to get all NBA first team. It doesn't mean any of that. It doesn't mean you're going to get a scoring title, dog. Just because you have a bag, a deep bag at your disposal, does not mean you're going to be a GOAT, dog. And that's one thing LeBron recognizes, dog. It's not about the bag. No, it's about the bag. Oh, don't get me wrong. It is about the bag, but it's about how you use the bag. When you dig into your bag and you pull out what you need out of your bag, when needed, when it's necessary, when you have to use it, dog, that's what the bag is for. You don't walk around, if you're traveling with a bag, dog, you don't walk around with the bag wide open. You don't have it wide open everywhere you go. If you're traveling with a bag, you don't have it open. You don't have stuff out of it the whole time you're walking, traveling with this bag. You don't do that. You have it closed and you're holding it and you're carrying it with you. You're carrying your bag with you, dog. It's not open. You know what I'm saying? You're not showing people what's inside of it. You're not like, hey, look at my bag. Look, it's open for the world to see. You don't do that. You walk around and the bag is closed, but it's with you, dog. And if you ever need to reach into your bag to get something out that you need at that moment, that's when you dip into the bag, dog. You see what I'm saying? You pull out what's in the bag when it's necessary. But there's players who have a deep bag and they have a lot of things that they can use in their bag, but they don't know how to use discretion when reaching into that bag, dog. They reach into that bag and they pull out whatever at any given moment. It's like, no, you don't need that. Why'd you pull that out of the bag when you didn't need to use that? You didn't need that at that time, but you just pulled it out, So some people, it's like they have a deep bag, but they don't know how to control what they have, dog. They don't know how to use their bag with a purpose, dog. They don't know how to exercise, their discretion and their judgment, to say, This is the time I need to reach into my bag. They don't know. Like, they don't know the right timing. They don't have the patience. Sometimes they're already dipping into the bag before they have to, you know? So it's like, and look, everybody in the NBA has a bag, right? Everybody in the NBA has a bag, you know? But you have to use your bag with discretion. You can't just be opening your bag everywhere you go, all right? You got to reach in at the right time, pull out exactly what you need at that time. And that is an efficient bag. You know, when you have something that you can pull out at any time you need it, right when you need it, and you can reach in your bag and pull it out. Those are the people who have the best bags, right? Because there's bags that have compartments on them. There's bags that have zippers on them. There's bags where you know exactly what you need, and you go right to that section of the bag to get out exactly what you need at the moment you need it, dog. That's a more versatile bag. You see what I'm saying? Some people have a deep bag, but they don't have all the compartments. It's not organized, right? It's not organized. So they have a deep bag, but then when it's time to get out that one thing they specifically need from the bag, they're fumbling around trying to find it. You see what I'm saying? Oh, where is it? Where is it? Oh, there it is. But by that time, look at all the time you used. It's not efficient. You see what I'm saying? It's not an efficient bag. You might have the bag, but you don't know how to pull out exactly what you need at the time you need it, because there's so many things you're reaching around, jumbling, disorganized, trying to find what you need to find, dog. You see what I'm saying? So there's players like that. Players who don't know how to use their bag and don't know how to grab what they need out of the bag when it's necessary, dog. It's all about necessity. It's all about efficiency. It's not about having the deepest bag. It's about having the most versatile bag that you can grab exactly what you need, the most organized bag, where you grab exactly what you need when you need it, dog. Kareem had a bag, dog. And yeah, his bag, you know, it was a classic bag. It was, you know, you have a bag. There's fundamental bags, right? There's fundamental bags, you know. They're like fundamentally sound, right? So think of a literal bag that's fundamentally sound. You're going to have a bag that has a zipper pouch and has this and has that. It might have a strap. It might have, you know, wheels on it for this and that. You know what I'm saying? You have a bag that can do multiple things, and you use them when they're needed, dog. You use them when they're needed, right? Kareem had the skyhook, dog. He had the skyhook in his bag, right? And his bag was efficient enough to where he could pull out that skyhook whenever he needed to. You see what I'm saying? Whenever he needed to do the skyhook, he could pull it out of his bag. You see what I'm saying? That's the difference, right? Whenever he needed it, he'd pull it out right then and there. You see what I'm saying? He could dip into that bag anytime he needed to. That's an efficient bag. When you master the efficiency of your bag, that's when you can really, truly become great and really, truly become a player that can affect winning at a high level, dog. Because now you are so efficient, you can dip into that anytime you need it. You know what I'm saying? Anytime. Now, some people, they have multiple things they can dip into at any time. You know what I'm saying? They can dip into the handle at any time. If they need to do a right to left crossover and that's in their bag, they can do that at any time they need to do it, that it's necessary to do it. You see what I'm saying? Not just for the fun of it or just because they can, you know? No, when they need it, then they have that access to that item in their bag at any given time, dog. So it's all about the efficiency of your bag, the efficiency of what's in your bag and when you can grab it out, when you have access to it, you know? And if you have a deep bag, you know, that is also an efficient bag. So it's not disorganized. You reach in, you know exactly what you want. You can pull it out at any time, right? But there's multiple things you can pull out at any time. That makes you dangerous, dog. That makes you unstoppable, unguardable, when it comes to the bag, right? Because you can grab this out whenever you need it. In certain situations, you're going to need a certain item out of that bag, and you pull it out when you need it. And that's how these players get great. Tim Duncan, he had a fundamental bag, right? Fundamental bag. There were certain things he could pull out when he needed, However, because of his physical traits, he could only reach into his bag like at certain moments, right? He needed to be in a certain spot, to reach into his bag, dog, because of his physical, right? So he couldn't just get over here and get over here and get over here. He needed to be set up, and then he could reach into his bag whenever he needed to. Now, there's different kinds of bags, right? Think of a backpack, right? That's a bag you hold on your back, right? So in basketball, we're going to talk about back to the basket. That's a bag you hold on your back. Back to the basket. When your back is to the basket, what kind of bag do you have there, right? Some bags you hold in your hands, and they have handles. We're going to talk, that's your handles, dog. Your handle bag. Now, this bag you hold in your hand, can you switch it to the other hand at any given time? Can you hold it in both hands, or do you only prefer to hold it in one hand, dog? One hand you favor over the other. Is it versatile where you can switch it to either hand? That's your physical. That's what you have, to your advantage if you can do it, right? And there's ways to help your physical and help what you're able to do while handling these bags, right? There's things you can do to step your game up, right? Now, but that's a bag in your hands, right? Now, let's say you're carrying money around. You're carrying money. Some people, they carry money in their pocket, dog. A pocket is kind of like a bag, dog. So a pocket, you reach down at your sides and you pull that out when you need it. You pull that money out whenever you need it, right? So can you, from when you have the ball in your hands, from the waist up, can you pull up that shot whenever you need it? Is that shot money? At any given time when you pull it out from the waist up, dog. You see what I'm saying? You can hold money in your socks, dog. Some people, they put money, they tuck it in their socks, down by their ankle, down by their feet. That's like your footwork, dog. Do you have the footwork? Can you dip into that footwork whenever you need it, dog? Whenever it's necessary to use your footwork. Do you have that kind of bag, dog? What are you holding there? You see what I'm saying? Some people have a bag you hold around your waist, like a fanny pack, dog. So that's like your waist, your twisting, your spins, and all that stuff. Whenever you need to use your waist and do some sort of twist, do your twisting. You see what I'm saying? It's twisting and spinning and that kind of stuff. Can you dip into that at any given time, dog? At any given moment. There's some bags you hold over your shoulder, like a shoulder strap. So over the shoulder. When it comes to over the shoulder, left or right, do you have a bag, a shoulder bag? You see what I'm saying? Can you go over the shoulder, either shoulder? At any given time, can you dip into your bag? You know what I'm saying? So there's plenty of different bags you can handle. And if you're going to the airport, dog, there's certain bags that you're not going to be able to carry with you when you're flying. You see what I'm saying? When you're going into the air, there's certain bags you can't just bring onto the plane with you, dog. So you need a carry-on, dog. You need a carry-on bag, right? Now, how versatile is this carry-on bag? How deep is this carry-on bag, dog? You know what I'm saying? Some people have a really small carry-on. Some people have a large enough carry-on where it's a very deep bag, like for a carry-on. and you store it up in the overhead, right? So let's think about this. Like when you're in the air, what is your aerial bag like? You see what I'm saying? What kind of bag do you have once you take off, and you're in the air? You see what I'm saying? Now that you're in the air, what can you do? Do you have that fanny pack when you're in the air? Can you still do your twisting and all that kind of stuff in the air? Can you do a finish with your left or right hand in the air? Can you do the up and unders? What kind of bag do you have when you're in the air? Because certain things in the air you cannot do, with these other bags. You see what I'm saying? Some of these other bags need to be checked. They need to store it in the bottom of the plane. Those don't take, you can't take those with you, You see what I'm saying? So your carry-on bag, when you're in the air, what kind of bag do you have? How deep is that bag when you're in the air? So there's different phases of when you can use your bags and different bags you can have, blah, 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 yada, 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 right? So we talked about all these bags. And now we get to LeBron, dog. LeBron, the guy who has a very limited bag. He has a limited bag in the air. He has a limited bag with his handles. He has a limited bag, like with his pockets. He can't just pull up a shot out of nowhere, dog. From the waist up, he can't just pull up a shot anytime he wants, dog. At any time, any given time, he can't do that. You see what I'm saying? He needs to set up a lot of his things. He doesn't have it in his bag where he can just pull it out when it's needed right at that time he needs to do it, dog. Very rare, that he can just do exactly what needs to be done at that moment. A lot of times it's going to take him a little bit of time to do it, dog. You see what I'm saying? So he's not consistent, right? He's not consistent in his shot because he doesn't, he's not consistent in his shot because he has the shot, right? He has the shot, but it's like he doesn't know how to use it right when he needs it. He's not efficient enough to pull it out right when he needs it. His bag isn't versatile enough, right? If I'm digging in my pockets trying to pull out that shot, right? Like maybe the pocket is, not, too tight, too closed. It's hard for me to put my hand in that pocket. It takes me a while to pull out what I need to pull out, right? So, when you analyze LeBron from a physical standpoint, from what he does on the court, none of his movements seem very fluid, dog, where he can just flow from one move to the next. Same thing like with his shot. With his shot motion, it's that fluidity, he lacks that, right? So it's hard for him to flow from one moment to the next moment, efficiently when he needs to do it, dog. He doesn't have that in his bag. So a lot of times he can't do what he needs to do like at that given time, and he's not reliable, he's not consistent offensively, dog, because he can't flow into what he needs to flow into at any given time when it's necessary. Sometimes he does do it, right? Sometimes you have a problem digging in your pocket and getting out what you need to get out. Other times you go right in and pull it right out, But the problem is the pockets, dog. The pockets is the problem. The bag itself is the problem, And you don't have the coordination, to go into that pocket and pull it out right when you need it, You need a better pair of pants with better pockets on them. You need a better bag to be able to do that more efficiently when you need it, dog. You see what I'm saying? So his bags are limited, dog. His bag is limited, right? So now, when we look at how limited he is to pull out exactly what he needs when he needs it, dog, that has been, one of those things that's really prevented him from being that great of a player because he's not confident or secure enough in his bag to pull things out exactly when he needs them. He needs people to assist him, dog. He needs screens. He doesn't trust his handle. He needs people to set screens for him, dog. He doesn't trust that he can just cross you up and take you off the dribble. He needs screens for that, you know? Like, he needs to be in a certain spot on the floor if he's comfortable to shoot, you know? He needs to be in a certain spot, you know? He's not comfortable in multiple spots on the floor. He's only comfortable at certain spots. You see what I'm saying? And if he doesn't have it in those certain spots, it's less likely that he can reach into his bag and pull out what he needs right at that moment because he's not comfortable about where he is. You know what I'm saying? So there's a number of reasons why his bag limits him, dog. It limits him. His limited bag limits his decision making on the court. And so he gets bothered by the fact that we real NBA fans notice it, dog. He gets bothered by that we notice that he's limited, dog. But this guy he's always talking about is not about a bag. But then we start looking at who he purposely teamed up with. Dwayne Wade had a bag, you know? Chris Bosh had a bag. Most of his bag was used in the post or whatever. But when he joined up with LeBron, LeBron started taking him out of the post and said, "You're going to be a spot up shooter now." So now he had to add that to his bag, dog. But, you know, Dwayne Wade was like a very versatile bag. He had a very versatile bag. He could do a multitude of things when he needed to do them, right? And that's what made him effective, especially when he already won a championship. You see what I'm saying? Before joining up with LeBron. You see what I'm saying? He already won a championship because of his bag, because he could pull things out when he needed to pull them out. You see what I'm saying? He is very efficient with the use of his bag. Kyrie had a bag. You see what I'm saying? You teamed up with Kyrie on purpose because he had a bag, dog. His bag is why you won your championship in 2016, you know? And one-on-one, you know, Kyrie dipped into his bag and pulled out what he needed to pull out right at the moment that he needed to so he could hit that three over Steph Curry, dog. He had that in his bag. You see what I'm saying? You teamed up with him, you won a championship. You know? You teamed up with Anthony Davis, dog. Anthony Davis had a bag. Most of his bag was like in the mid-range and in the post kind of area. And he did kind of add a 3-point to his bag a little bit. You see what I'm saying? But this guy had a bag. He had a bunch of different moves that he could dip into and use when he needed to use them. You see what I'm saying? He's very efficient with his moves. You see? A lot of times when you see Anthony Davis, he's very comfortable offensively with what he can do because he has it in his bag. He can pull it out whenever he needs to pull it out. You see what I'm saying? That's what they were doing in this series, this previous series where the Denver and the Lakers series, even though they got gentlemen swept, Anthony Davis was having himself some games because he was very comfortable with being able to dip into his bag, pull out his shot, pull out whatever move he needed to pull out when necessary, when needed. You see what I'm saying? And that's the efficiency. So even if you have a bag, you need to be able to use this bag whenever possible, whenever it's needed, whenever it's necessary. And once you become comfortable with that, it's unguardable. You see what I'm saying? Because at any time, you can just grab it out of the bag. You see what I'm saying? Just like Kareem's skyhook. You know? It was unguardable because he had it, he could pull it out whenever he wanted to pull it out. So now you're just like, when's he going to pull it out? I don't know. I don't know when he's going to take that out of his bag. I don't know when he's going to use that bag. So now it's a timing issue. Now it becomes a timing issue. Like, I don't know when it's going to happen. And a lot of times, even if you time it well, he's still is going to use it, and there's really nothing you can do about it. Like, even if you perfectly guard it and perfectly contest it, he's so comfortable pulling that out of his bag whenever he needs it that you can't stop it. You see what I'm saying? Because he already knows what he's going to do. Like, he already knows what he's going to do. And you can't stop what he already knows he's going to do. You see what I'm saying? Like, the best thing you could possibly do is not let him do it. You got to stop it before it happens. You see? But that is hard. That is extremely difficult to do. Because he can use it at any time. You know? You try to blitz him. Oh, skyhook. I'm skyhooking before the blitz completely gets here, dog. Before the double comes, I'm already skyhooking. Because he had it where he could just pull it out anytime he needed to pull it out. You see what I'm saying? So, that's when we're talking about bags, dog. LeBron James doesn't have a lot of things he can just pull out whenever. Like, at any given time. You see what I'm saying? He's not coordinated enough. His bag isn't versatile enough or deep enough. He doesn't have any real trustworthy stuff in his bag, dog, that he can just use at any given time. And so he needs to team up with players who have that. You see what I'm saying? And he's got to team up with multiple players who have something in their bag. You know, because eventually it's going to get to that point where it's about matchups. And then this dude, he's the same dude who talk about, oh, I hate when they talk about bags. But then he's over here talking about, in that same podcast, talking about, oh, it's targeting. We're targeting players. It's all about targeting. We got to target the people. You know, oh, you mean matchups? You mean you got to make use of matchups? Oh, this guy's a weak defender. Put this guy who has a bag on, you know, on this weak defender. We're going to target this guy. Come on, dog. It's all about matchups. It's all about bags, you know. And Michael Jordan, he's the GOAT because he had the bag, the deepest, one of the deepest, most versatile bags because he could dip into that bag whenever, you know. And it didn't matter if he was in air, you know, coming off a screen, from a standstill, you know, on the ground, you know, in the post with his back to the basket, you know, spinning and twisting, footwork. He could dip into any of those things at any given time when necessary. He wasn't, because, you know, you saw early on, right? Remember, there's that famous play where he did the tween, 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 then I went to the left, and then I pull up shot in Larry Bird's face, right? You see what I'm saying? He had all these things in his bag, but he wasn't efficiently, you see what I'm saying, using it to the maximum. Like, he was kind of playing around with that bag. But once he started really harnessing that bag and controlling it and dipping when necessary, because it wasn't necessary for him to do all that. He was just putting on a show or whatever. Okay, cool. He was flashy, right? But over time, he's like, he became much more efficient where there's no wasted movement. No wasted movement. Anytime you needed a shot, he could pull that out. Shot, shot, shot. Anytime you needed it. Anytime you needed a post fade and he's in the post, he could pull that anytime. You know, he could just feel out the defense. He's backing you down. Here comes a double post fade, left shoulder. You know what I'm saying? Like, he could just pull that out whenever. You see what I'm saying? And that's the thing that LeBron has never been comfortable doing, you know? And it's a huge reason why he has a lot of losses in the finals, dog. 6 losses. Because of his limited bag, dog. I think that about covers everything, dog. There's just you know, handles, you know, pull-up game, you know, pulling up off the dribble, you know, he's not comfortable with that. He's not very consistent in his post game, in his shoulder, over the shoulder. He's not consistent with his spins and in the air creativity, you know, being able to pull out these aerial moves, He's not very consistent in his shooting. He's not very consistent, offensively, basically. Offensively, he's not consistent. The only thing that's really been consistent about LeBron is that same old one-hand dunk, dog, with his right hand. That's the only thing you can guarantee he's doing that. That's going to happen, So, because he doesn't have a bag like that he can dip into and pull out exactly what he needs at any given moment when necessary, that's why, he's very limited. He can't be the GOAT because he can't access whatever he needs to access at any given moment. See, there's more to Michael Jordan that they don't understand, with LeBron. They think, oh, LeBron's so great, LeBron's so great. Dog, LeBron, a lot of times, he doesn't know what he wants to do out there. He doesn't know what he wants to do or what he can do because he's very limited. He's very, he's not secure enough and confident enough in his skills as an individual. So they have to do certain things. The whole offense has to work around what he is comfortable doing. You see what I'm saying? The only thing he's comfortable with doing is running downhill, bumping into people, bumping them out of the way, and finishing at the rim. That's the only thing he's comfortable doing most of the time, dog. So now the whole offense, everyone's positioning, all the spacing, everything has to be centered on, how to open up the lanes so LeBron can do what he's comfortable doing, what he's secure with doing. The only thing he really has in his bag, running downhill, and getting into the paint and finishing at the rim. That's really, truly the only thing he has consistently had in his bag for his entire career. And that's not enough. That's not enough to be the GOAT, dog. And we all notice this. And even LeBron notices it. That's why he purposely teams up with people who can do more than what he can do. And that's the only way he's won his championships, is by teaming up with the people who have the bags, dog. Who have the bags. And then he keeps on going on this podcast talking about all these players who have bags. Oh, Jokic. He has a bag. Oh, Jamal Murray. Oh, he has a bag. Oh, it's because of his bag. He was able to finish left or right on us. What are we supposed to do about that? He did a step back right for the first game winner. He did a step back left for the second game. What are we supposed to do? He has that bag. He has that bag. How can we stop that? So this dude is contradicting himself. He's, he can't even answer his own question, dog. He's looking at all these different players who have that in their bag. And he doesn't, dog. You see what I'm saying? And he's always talking about the reason we lost is because this guy's so good. What? You mean this guy has a bag? A bag that you don't have? And that's why y'all lost? And don't even get me started on defense, dog. Don't even get me started on defense. Just from an offensive perspective right now, dog. Just from an offensive perspective. LeBron is very limited in his bag, dog. Very limited. It's part of the reason why he not the GOAT, dog. He not